All right, hello? I know Bones is a console boy, so Discord might be foreign to him.
You
Hello? I heard you. You'll
just
pro-
just took a bit to load.
That's fine.
You hear me right?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Are you on your
alright.
phone or something, or are you on a PC?
On a laptop, dude.
I feel that. I still don't understand why console has not picked up Discord yet to just like be a thing you can join while you know what I'm saying. Um, it
Yeah.
would make playing so much easier with console people, you know, because the game chat in Apex sucks. But how you doing, man?
Doing good, dude. I'm playing multiple legends lately. Sticking with Caustic, playing a lot of Octane too, trying to improve my movement.
Dude, Octane
Going with the
has that
players.
movement. Like when you stim up and strafe in front of somebody, it can throw them off big time.
Yeah, for real. Because Manza's literally Sonic. Like it's so hard to track. Especially on short.
He is, dude. Um, so I do have questions that I want to ask you, and then later on, we can open it up to asking chat questions because I know they'll have a billion and one questions to ask you. Um,
Yeah, because I'm just here to basically answer questions, I guess. Because that's what this whole thing's for, right?
exactly. Um, the first thing I wanted to ask you, I don't think I've asked you. People have probably asked you before. I just don't know. So I'm sorry if you get this all the time. But where did you get the name Captain Xbones?
uh, in Vietnam.
In
He
Nam? Did you say in
made up for
Nam?
himself. Vietnam
That's where my grandma's from,
made
dude. I'll ask
for
her.
himself.
All right. Yeah, I did just want to
Made
ask
that
that
name up
because,
for himself.
huh?
He pretty much just made that name up for himself. There's nothing like super special to it. It's just I've kept his name because
Okay, that's
basically
pretty badass though, for real.
when my whole account and when my whole account started on PlayStation and stuff, this is what he made it, so I've just kept it.
I mean, that's still pretty dope. Um, I know we've definitely talked about this before, and I wanted to ask you like we've talked about when you started playing Apex, but when did you start playing Apex? Like when was the time you were your first season, I guess, or are you day one?
I played 2 weeks after the game came out, and then it took me about a day or two to unlock Caustic, and then I've, pretty much just been playing them from there on. And around season 4 is when I actually tried, playing the game competitively. The first 3 seasons just kind of me, playing the game, dude.
So do you mean like ranked competitively or kill grinding, or were you always kill grinding?
Both.
Okay, okay. So you said season four. What rank did you hit?
Uh, Red.
You hit Pred? Okay. Honestly I figured because I know you're cracked at the game. That was actually I was gonna ask you too when you started playing Caustic. So you said literally like the moment you could unlock him. Before you unlocked him, were you looking at him like I'm gonna play this guy, even when you didn't have
Uh,
him, or did you just test him out and go like I think I'm gonna play this guy?
well, okay, so Gibby's a tank, so I wanted to play a tank when I came into this game because I know it was like role based.
Yeah,
So I saw Gibby. I didn't like Gibby. I saw Caustic, so I was like, okay, I'm gonna try this guy out because I want to be a tank, right?
yeah.
I played Bloodhound, got him. Then I got Caustic, and then I ended up figuring out that he was the worst legend in the game. So I was like, okay, I'm gonna stick with him, dude. Why not? And I was pretty much at that time one of the only people that really understood his kit and how to use it, even though he was the worst legend at that time.
Yeah.
And obviously, I struggled a lot because he didn't even have fortified. His traps did no damage. None of that.
Yeah, dude. I remember that, bro. I think that's really interesting because coming to Apex, I had played a ton of World of Warcraft, and the role I always picked up was tank, and I always liked being a tank. So when I did see the defensive, like the shield, I was like, okay, I want to play that too. So I think that's interesting
Exactly.
that we kind of had that same mentality. Did you play Overwatch or something like that before you started playing Apex?
Did yeah. I was really bad at Overwatch though. I was a hard stuck player.
I see. I've never really played Overwatch, but I do know it's very role oriented.
It
So
is like just ain't my type of game, honestly. It's all about abilities.
it looks like Apex is not going to be your game much longer because that's all the game's about, dude.
Well, I mean, at least, there ain't six ultimates abilities and all
Yeah,
being, thrown on you at once.
yeah, I feel that. I do think
Overwatch.
that's really cool though, and like interesting to how we both kind of found Caustic in the same kind of way. Because I did as well when I first started playing him. I remember the first thing I said when I was looking at the legends. I looked at Mirage and Caustic, and I unlocked them because after a while you just get the tokens, from just playing the game. And I remember reading. I was reading. This is back when we would like read all the legends abilities because no one really knew what was going on. And I remember reading Caustics, and I was just like, this is absolutely worthless. Why would anybody play this guy? Like, he's gigantic. His abilities suck. Why would anybody play him? And then I was like, well, he's the worst legend, so I want to try to rock him. And I want to try to get as good at the worst legend as I can. And it sounds like both of us
Yeah.
kind of had the same mentality choosing him and continuing to play him.
Yeah.
Did you ever, like, Cocoon?
Oh, for sure. Oh my God, I abused that so hard. Oh
How
my
did
God,
you
I got
learn
so much
about
hate
that?
mail. That was actually hilarious. Ah, by accident.
So you
I'm like,
figured it
okay,
out, though,
pretty
for
much, yeah.
yourself.
Okay, so, I think I started cocooning around season 2, season 3.
Yeah.
I found out how broken it was. I was like, okay, I started using it for trolling because, it's basically a glitch, right? I was wanting to see how people would react.
Yeah.
Then I realized how broken it was, and I ended up abusing it hard just because I got a habit with it. Like, not even
Yeah.
just abusing it to abuse it, just I legit had such a habit with it to the point where it's just like, oh, I get cracked. Okay, I look at the ground, throw my trap, and I'm okay.
Dude, I miss it. I
Nah, I
know it's an
quit doing it
exploit,
around
but
season 4.
like
Yeah.
when you would throw the trap, it would automatically put the invisible wall of where the trap would inflate to around you. And I know you know
Yeah.
that, but like I just loved that. Like it was beautiful, especially when you'd see if you killed someone who was streaming and you saw their POV of like they're just shooting nothing and getting real like why am I not hitting them and you're just sitting there looking at them. It was the best feeling, dude.
Yeah, but like I stopped cocooning before I got patched actually because I was like, okay, I'm like if they patch up cocooning and I still got the habit of this thing, I'm gonna be hot trash. Because at that time it
Yeah.
was kind of hot trash, so I used it so much. So I was like, okay, I want to get good without using it, and it took me about I don't know a week, and we're good with it. Got better movement. Like I gained so much from stop doing it. I got better movement, better just overall better skill, right?
Yeah.
Not too long after they patched it.
Yeah, I remember when I used it. I learned it in season 3. I got killed by a caustic with a 20 bomb 4K, and I don't remember if I had my 4K yet or not. But like, my ego was just bruised at this point because I've been playing him since season 0, and I do remember in season 0 I was like, I will never get a 20 bomb on caustic. Like it's never gonna happen. I'll never be good enough. But
It is so true. I thought the same thing, dude. Because I was like, okay, I'm kind of hot trash at
it's
this game,
crazy
dude.
how
And
it changes, doesn't it?
yeah, yeah, but now
Yeah.
I'm getting 20 bombs like all the time now, and I'm just like, it's just crazy.
That's what I always tell people when they ask me, and I'm pretty sure from the comments I've seen, and I'm sure your Twitch chat, I have seen it a little bit. They always ask you like, how do I get better at this X, Y, or Z? And I think one
Yeah.
thing that's not really a way to tell them how to get better, but just it goes to show, that even you and I started and we were just little fledgling caustics and had no idea what we were doing. But when I got killed by that caustic, I actually had wiped a squad, and then he shot me once. I had 1 HP. He was a third party, so I wasn't really upset he killed me. But when I saw that he had a 4K20, I was like, okay, I'm gonna watch this guy for a second and see if I can learn anything. Like that was a thought process that went through my head, and the moment I said that to myself, he got shot at and cocooned, and I immediately left the game and tried it myself, and I was like, this is amazing. And it would just piss people off, and it was just the greatest thing. But just like you, actually, because of my stream, it might have been Forcing, who said like, they're gonna patch it. Don't and since I hadn't learned it and I had been playing Caustic consistently since season 0, and I didn't learn about it until season 3, I did put it in my kit. But from the beginning, I was like, this is going to get patched out. It's just a matter of time. And knowing Respawn, I knew it was going to be, months before they actually patched it. And it would come with a big patch. It wouldn't just be like a hotfix, because Apex doesn't hotfix anything. So I did as well. It's still interesting how the track the track record we have of how Caustic went for us is so similar in a lot of ways. Even though until cross-plat, console and PC lobbies were like kind of two different beasts, and the way people played were a lot different. What do you think, like, coming from console, going into cross-plat now, seeing PC, like, what do you see as a console player when you face PC players?
Oh, a lot. Okay, so
Good and
for
bad as
one,
well.
their movement. Yeah, it depends. Like if you're going up against a PC trash can, it's literally a free kill. Like there's nothing about it. If you're going up against a console trash can, they're actually gonna hit you because aim assist is a thing, but their movement's still gonna be really bad.
Yeah.
You say good console players, good PC players. Console players won't laser you as much from long range unless they've practiced it, right?
Yeah.
Players are mainly just good at close range because slows down your sight, better recoil control, aim assist, blah blah blah. The PC players, dude, if you go up against a good, decent master per red squad, and they have good aim, right? Long
Yeah.
range, you're coordinating stuff. You're gonna die in like half a second if you get out of position. Like you actually get punished in PC lobbies on like console.
Yeah, I mean, recently pushing ranked again, I think it's funny because going against, like, if I go, like, in hindsight, knowing that they're a console squad, I don't know that because we'll push up on them and they'll miss every shot while we're pushing them, and I'm like, dude, these kids are bad. Like, let's just push them. They're buns. And the moment we get close, it's just lasers. We're just getting beamed from left and right, and they're not missing a single shot, and it's like a complete 180 from where it started from with them missing every single shot. So the movement, you said, like, how much I've played with you a lot, and the movement of a PC player does not really seem to stop you beaming them. So
Well,
what do you think about like console and console aim assist as a really good player? Do you think it's in a good place, or do you think that they need to like do something with the console aim assist?
I mean, okay, so if you're on PC and you're using a controller on PC, you have weaker aim assist. I think it should be the same way like that for console, because although aim assist is very needed for any game at all that you're playing on a controller that requires
Yeah.
aim, it's really strong because there are times when I'm running past downed people. I got my sight locked on someone, but it will drag my aim down to the guy on the ground, so I have to recenter my aim, and that's the annoying part for me. Like that's the only reason why I want it getting nerfed. But it's also extremely strong, and it definitely helps console players aim a lot easier because PC takes a lot more skill when it comes to aiming and pretty much everything else.
I mean, that's
So I
that's
don't know.
my
Now,
argument as well, is like make console aim assist and PC controller aim assist the same, like you said, and also like maybe bring it down a tad, because I feel like you would really not be affected by the magnification, other than in good ways, like you said, your controller wouldn't like drag to downed people, and you'd be able to fight people a little bit easier when you want to actually aim at them. But someone like you have the dexterity and the skill to move the thumbstick to aim on them regardless. It wouldn't give these people who are super casual the ability to just one mag people who have really good movement, because it literally locks onto them. I think it
pretty
would
much,
just make it a little bit more fair. But you're kind of in that mindset, even though you are a console player, you still think it needs to get brought down just a tad to really kind of like
yeah.
make a skill gap more.
Yeah, because like if aim assist is so strong to the point where it's screwing up your aim, that's when you know they need to turn it down. But like uh what's it called? No, dude. But oh yeah, about the aim assist affecting me if they turn it down, it definitely will at first, but I'll get used to it very quickly. Because if there's a
Mm-hmm.
sudden change that has to do with aim or the way my character plays, it's gonna take me maybe a couple hours, a day, 2 days to get used to it, right?
Yeah.
Just like with the caustic trap change, that was a massive change, and it took me a couple days to get used to that.
Which one?
But once I got used to it, it's like whatever. Yeah,
Just
trap
like
change
all
where
of
you can
them?
shoot out the traps when
Yeah. I know you had a very aggressive style of throwing your traps, and you have a very
I can't
signature
really do
move
that
with it.
anymore.
You'll like
Yeah.
crouch if you're not doing anything crazy and you just need to get it out, but you'll crouch and like slide and kind of flick your mouse while you throw it upwards. And I've also seen you, like if you want to get it further, you'll crouch and then you like kind of jump, like standing jump to get a little bit more oomph under it. And it's very like
Yeah.
Bones esque. Like I've never seen any other Caustic do that, at least on controller. Um, so it's very, you have a very like unique style of play with him that is like I could watch if your name was blanked out and I was watching, I could probably pinpoint if it's you or somebody else because you have specific mannerisms when you're playing him that only you do, but they're good. Like I noticed you did that a lot before they changed the trap. And I noticed how you kind of changed up your gameplay a little bit after they changed that. But I did want to get into that with you and talk with you about all the changes recently and how we're seeing a million Caustics running around. Just it's a very general question, but how do you feel about those changes? Do you think they were good, bad? Just like let me know what you think, because my audience has heard my opinion a million times on it.
Well, here's when it gets kind of difficult because there's plenty of things like Six is kind of a good but bad spot. He's a very good legend, but he's too good. So that makes him OP or like really strong, and everyone wants to play him now because of how strong he is, and he's meta. So the trap changes, both the damage and the trap change where you can like shoot them out when they hit the ground instantly.
Yeah,
Those were good changes because it made me a better player when it comes to the trap throwing. Because before I'll just do it because I can. Why not? They can't do anything with my trap, so why not do it? Because I could just shoot it before them when it goes off.
yeah,
After that change, I had to get better trap placement. I had to be more careful where I'm throwing my traps. And if I did throw my trap like that, I would know that it's going to get shot out and that it's just a distraction just to get free shots off.
yeah. And that's actually what I was gonna ask you as well, because I did actually remember that when they first changed that, I said on stream, I was like, Bones is gonna have an issue with this, or have issues with this that he'll have to fix because you were super aggressive with like just throwing traps out at people. And I knew it could be something you could use to your advantage, where, as you said, you throw it out as a distraction, so they have to choose: do I shoot the Caustic, or do I shoot his trap? I think it was a decent change. All I think is that if you can shoot it out while it's inflating, make people shoot it at the bottom, so they at least have to aim a little bit and not just like blindly fire in that direction and then break it. But I didn't think it was an awful change. What I personally think are bad changes are the enemies not being slowed or blinded, and the teammates not being slowed or blinded. What do you think about that? Because I think it made him too easy to play. And before you pushed high ranked before they made those changes, right?
Hmm.
Did you solo queue it, or did you play it with rank, or did you play it with
I
teammates?
solo. I've only played one rank season with a team, and those were with my two friends.
Mm-hmm.
And I got masters. It was season 6, I think.
So when you
Uh, um,
solo a lot, but like when you would throw traps, were you thinking about where your teammates were in like high octane situations against good players, so that you wouldn't blind or slow them? And now you don't
if
have to
I
do that as much.
exactly, yeah. So this is where the skill thing comes in because now, since teammates don't get affected by traps, pretty much all get a little bit of a, you know, like a little bit of a gas effect around their screen, but that's about it. That's literally nothing.
Yeah,
So before they would get slowed, they would legit like it'd be like they got shot in the eyes and they can't see. It's just like a massive blur. So you know, before you had to have good trap placement and have team coordination because if you didn't,
yeah,
your teammates would walk in the gas with you. And basically, my playstyle back then, even though I wasn't as good, but it was a good playstyle, right? And it was like a good, way of playing Caustic at a high level. So, say I'm pushing in a building with a whole squad in it, and I'm going in with my nade and my traps and stuff. I'm gonna be like, don't follow me. I'm going in to push. I'm gonna try and get some damage, and then I'll get out. But if I screw that up and I die, that's where my mistake comes in because I went in knowing that my team couldn't follow me, and I failed not to knock someone or do damage. So pretty much, when you went in with gas, it was all about getting the most damage as you can and getting out alive.
yeah.
And your team are doing that because they get affected a lot when they're inside your gas.
What about like when you play defensively? Did you? What one thing I noticed I did that I did on purpose was I would always like when we went into specific buildings in ranked or like early seasons, series 1 and series 2. I didn't play Caustic until after I hit Pred series 1. Um, because we played the meta. I was Wraith most of the time, and in series 2 I didn't play much until I hit Pred as well. But when we would take a building, I would always trap in the exact same spots in every building. And like each different building, my teammates always knew where I was going to place the traps because I wanted them to learn it as well as I did, so that they wouldn't blind themselves and they knew how to maneuver around each building. And I feel like
Exactly.
that's gone now. Do you think overall this was a good or a bad change? And do you think that they should like do something about it, or is Caustic in a good spot right now? Because that's a question I get all
They
the time.
they 100% need to revert it. It's caustic. Like, hold on, I'm having problems with my mic. Sorry, and I know I have background noise too. Hold on,
It's
my
all
mic's
good, man.
basically been breaking.
No,
Like,
it's
it's
fine.
probably staticky.
Yeah, I didn't say anything because I was like, it's probably nothing you can do about it. So I know you're not like on a PC all the time, so I can hear you. I can understand you. Everyone else can as well.
Right. But anyways, they need to make it where teammates get slowed again, at least. Like the blind, sure, go ahead, because the more effect they put on the teammates is the more skill it's gonna have for the cost player.
Teammates and
They use
enemies, or
trap.
just teammates getting slowed by their friendly Caustic,
Let's say both teammates and enemies,
but keep the
because
blind out. Just slow them.
uh both works honestly. Keep the blind in, keep the blind out. I don't really care too much for
Mm-hmm.
that, to be honest, but
Yeah.
it's more about the movement thing. But say, I played a lot with one of my friends. He's a Wraith main early on in the game because we both played the game a lot, right? And he would pretty much always know my trap placements. He would never push in with me. He would play with me, right? Because
Yeah.
he's legit played with me since the game.
Yeah.
And just like you said, your teammates would learn every single different building. Like, some buildings you'd place a trap on this door. Sometimes you might block this door, but not the other one, stuff like that. So your teammates would learn your trap placement in every single building just so they know how to maneuver around it without getting basically cucked, right? So basically, all I'm asking for Respawn to do with his traps and gas is give the teammate slow movement back.
Yeah. I think that I've said something from the start. Adding more damage to the traps would have been better from the beginning. Because I don't know about you, but there were a lot of times where I would like one mag somebody while they were in my gas. They would knock me because I'm caustic. You're gonna get shot a lot because you're gigantic. And this was normally before cross plat, so PC players could beam the hell out of you when you were caustic in the gas, and then they would just like walk out of my ultimate from the center, ticking the entire time after I broke them and did half their health, and they would just walk out. Or they would
Yeah.
like teams would push me through my ultimate to shoot me, and they would go unpunished. And I think the damage now is in a perfect place for how many ticks
Yeah,
it requires.
I'm gonna say that.
So you think the trap damage is perfect and the ult damage is perfect?
The
It's
trap
just like the
damage
things around it.
perfectly, because the trade they did, it was a bad trade, but like it was good for Caustic, if that makes sense. Like the blind, I never
Yeah.
cared for. I
Yeah.
didn't care because I can see them in my guys perfectly fine. I don't care if they can see me, because either way they're gonna need a digi threat to see me, sort of on the same level they can, that I have a view of them. So,
See, dude, one thing I love is that, like, in my comments, I've joked about it before with you, that I'll always be getting comments of people saying, like, Bones is actually the best Caustic. Like, you might be the best PC Caustic, but, like, Bones is the best Caustic. And I think it's funny because those same people would be the ones arguing with me when I said that what was happening to him was a buff and not a nerf, like the trade-off we were just talking about. And they would all argue with me and say, like, oh, you don't actually know what you're talking about with Caustic. And I know that they love you, so when they go to you and you're saying the same thing I'm saying, it always, like, vindicated me. And I was always like, yeah, dude, you guys want to argue with me, go argue with Bones, too, because he thinks the same thing that I think, and he's better than me at Caustic. So,
I've definitely noticed how we have like the same opinions on things. What I was talking about on the whole like trade-off, where they gave his traps more damage and took away the blur effect.
yeah.
I love that change because now if someone pushes in your gas, they can see a little bit better,
Mm-hmm.
but they're taking a lot of damage in the process. So they're taking a high risk situation.
They
You know
will
what I
get
mean?
punished if they screw it up. If they get it, they kill you,
I
cool,
don't
but I
really
like
care.
that, too. Like, because it used to just be free. They could just push you for free. They know they're going to kill you and walk out, taking minimal damage. And now they're really punished for taking a long time with whatever they're doing in your gas. And I really like that change. I just don't think... I think the blind and the slow removal made him too easy. There's less team coordination that needs to go in with him. And that's what made him harder to play. What do you feel right now about the meta we've been seeing for a while now, where it's just been basically at like Masters and Pred level, you have Caustics on every squad?
I hate it with a passion because,
Okay. Same here.
like,
Why?
okay. So when I don't play Caustic, because obviously if I'm playing in higher rank, they're gonna expect me to play Caustic because not only is Caustic
Yeah.
meta, but I'm one of the best. Yeah, I don't call myself the best Caustic, but
I know
I
what you
just
mean. You're
go off
really
of
you're
what
an
other.
expert. You have expertise in him, and so your friends would default to saying, "Hey, you play him." I understand that.
So I get bored of playing him a lot recently because of how much I've played him in the past, and I want to kind of have fun and play different things, right?
Yeah.
So I'm totally down with playing Caustic.
Yeah.
It's just I hate how every squad has a Caustic, and if you don't play Caustic, you're like there's nothing you can do.
No, and
So I'm
I agree
basically
with that. Well, one thing I've noticed too is that all the caustics running around, most of them don't have the finesse that you and I would have with him, but it doesn't matter anymore because you don't have
for
to,
sure.
you don't get punished as much. And I said from the start, a long time ago, probably in season 3 or 4, like, we don't want caustics everywhere because that would not be fun. Caustic should stay where he is as this niche meta where a team really has to practice, like a team, not just the caustic playing him, but the people playing with him at a high level need to practice maneuvering around with him and knowing where to go, because I played a lot early seasons with people when I was caustic in high ranked, and they would immediately be like after 2 games they would just be like, dude, don't play caustic, play somebody else, because they didn't want to learn what I
That
needed
was
to
the
do.
best. That was actually the best. Yeah, I
Well,
got
I
that a
found
lot
people who
back.
would I could play with them
Saden
the
Counter.
moment I went in with them and we started playing. They were like, they changed their mentality, they changed their play style, and we just slaughtered everybody in the lobbies we were in, like masters and pred lobbies, because they played around me. And they definitely, I feel like that's gone now. People just ape around
Yeah.
with caustic, and they're unpunished for it, and it's just not fun. Or like when you see ALGS and
Oh my
the
god.
last zone is just caustic gas everywhere,
Oh no, dude, I've seen that. That is so A. It's like
because
I don't.
it's just not fun, dude. I don't.
Isn't like
And I
okay.
also remember.
Just
Oh, go ahead.
for the thing like you were saying that how a lot of Caustic players don't have the finesse that we do. Um, like okay, Caustic takes no skill playing around a building. Zero skill, nothing. It's really not hard at all. So
Yeah.
when it comes to
Yeah.
top tier Caustic players like you and me, right? Versus people just picking him because he's cool, they're gonna see him more as a situational character. Like they can only play him well inside of a building, but they won't be able to play him around trees and small pieces of cover. Like say
Or
I can't,
rotating.
right? I
Or
hardly
rotating.
buildings unless I'm forced into a fight there. I legit don't camp. I hate it. It's boring.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
basically, they're just sticking to the very slow campy play, and they can't really be playing too aggressive with him when we can't.
Yeah.
Just the way that
Yeah.
he's like extremely OP inside of a building with no skill, and it's not hard to do at all.
That is why,
That
in
is
my earliest guide, I dubbed it the ebb and flow of caustic. Like, you want to know when to move in and out of your building to be aggressive and defensive. It's not just be defensive
yeah,
or be offensive. You mix it in. If you go out and you want to try to get a kill, and then you retreat back in and you go back and forth. So it's high octane gameplay centered around a building, but also the rotations, especially in high level games. It can be difficult, and that's why early on the best comp I found for Caustic was Wraith, Watson, and Caustic, because Wraith would bring in that her portal to maneuver you through, like if there's just a huge open field that you needed to get through, you could do that. And then when you needed to hold a building, Watson had the ultimate for stopping nade spam, because that was something you would just die to a lot early days with Caustic, is people just nade spam the hell out of you while you were in a building, because at that time you were probably one of the only like 1 or 2 Caustics in the entire game.
exactly, yeah. Because Caustic was unpopular at all. Like, although he was very powerful if you could use him correctly, but he still had flaws just like every other character. So, um, with the whole like rotations and stuff, like even at the state Caustic side now, you still need to know how to play with the Caustic on your team when it comes to rotations, but that's about it. That's the only kind of team play you need with the Caustic now is, have good rotations. But half the time it doesn't even come in because there's lots of teams getting late circle early on in the game, you're just sitting in the building the whole time. So they don't have to move, you know what I mean?
Yeah, no, I do. And because like I remember back early series when I didn't play Caustic a lot, I always remembered in the end zones I was like, dude, I want to get to one of these end zones so bad, so that I would be able to just ult the last zone and then cocoon myself in front of everybody while they all died, and there'd be nothing that any of them
Oh,
could do. And
oh,
like,
that was
yeah, and I did it. I always imagined like, what if I did that in ALGS, or like some tournament. But I'm not really into playing professionally at that level. But in ranked games, getting to the end, there were some places where it was just like, if you got to the end as Caustic, you were pretty much just screwed because it was super open and you had literally no cover at all to work with, and that's just the bane of playing as a Caustic. But when you get like, if it ended in capital or something, that was your forte. You would just like that, you could just run in and out, abuse all the other teams, and then they couldn't push you, so you could really just control the end circle.
yeah. Like that's why I like Caustic's playstyle so much, because you kind of control how the fight goes if
Mhm.
you're using your ability.
Yeah, and that's what, like, earlier when we were talking about how you were, the way you play with your traps, even now, very aggressive placement. You're really good at zoning people where you want, and I've noticed when I'm playing with you and I get killed like early game, where you will go the craziest is that one zip building in Capital. You're just like flying up and down the zips, jumping up and down, placing traps, and people are trying to chase you around, and they're getting blocked off everywhere, and you can just heal yourself and then peek them when you want and shoot them. And you're really good at abusing Caustic's kit to get what you need to get done.
Exactly, because that building is so. It's just. It's so good for Caustic, because there's zip lines. You can have fast move on the zip lines. The rooms are pretty small and cramped, so it's not hard to cover a lot of the building with traps. Like I never cover an entire building with traps unless it's a very small like room where
Yeah.
where I can actually make sure. But if it's
Yeah.
like a decent sized building like that, like obviously it's still small inside, but I can't cover every floor, so I'll manage like one or two floors, and I'll you know sometimes to pick people off on the other floors and go back to my traps and stuff. So in that building, it's just way too easy to play Caustic in that building, because the zip lines, they go on the zip lines, they hit the trap, so they either choose to keep going up the zip line, I can laser them, or they can jump off the zip line and go straight back down to where they were, like on second floor, first floor.
Yeah.
And I usually hold
Yeah.
floors.
That's one thing I've noticed, and that's a question actually I want to ask you. That's one thing I noticed newer Caustic players do, is that they panic a lot and they just start throwing traps. Like, they might even be in the middle of the open. They get shot
Yeah.
and they just start throwing traps like they're trying to Wraith Q or something. What is something you see in newer Caustics that like you see overwhelmingly that they're doing incorrectly?
Way too much. Way too much. Like, it's mainly with their traps. They just
Mm-hmm.
waste their way too much. Like, the traps have a long cooldown, but they don't at the same time. Like, they have a long cooldown, but you have three of them, so you can manage that cooldown to make sure you always have a trap at your side at all times. Unless, of course, you're just getting bomb rush and nade spams. But, you know, a lot of caustics I see, they'll put two traps right next to each other as if the damage is going to stack.
Yeah,
And
I,
that's
I remember seeing that
in
a
my
lot in the
opinion.
early days, and people actually coming to my stream in season 0 and 1 and saying like, "Dude, if you put more traps down, it'll stack the damage on them." And I was just
No,
like,
it'll
"No."
stack it by one. Like it'll
Yeah,
do one extra damage, and that's not worth it.
yeah. Then that's what I always said. It's more of like, you are the trap damage. Even now is not as much, even though it is better. It's not as much of like what you're using to kill people. It is you in the gas killing them. Like,
Yeah,
you're the
exactly.
danger in the gas and in the area you're zoning for yourself.
Yeah, like I have never used my traps for damage. Like, just it's never been
Yeah, it's
a thing
something
that
to stop people.
because what's the point? Yeah, it's more of a thing. My traps are more of a thing for protecting me instead of throw it other guy do damage. It's more like just a thing that I play around that I know I'm gonna be safe in if I have it at this location.
Yeah,
Because like even though it doesn't have the biggest radius in the world, it still covers a pretty decent amount, and it's hard to see inside of that. And the barrel itself is invincible when it's activated, so I just abuse the traps way too hard to the point where it's like I have an invincible gun shield.
yeah. I mean, that's definitely like, and that's a good mentality to have, I think, with Caustic. Um, One thing I noticed a long time ago was the people, they didn't really know how to maneuver around with Caustic, especially before we had not even just the buffed fortified, but fortified at all. It
Yeah.
molded how I maneuver and play the game on every legend because of that like trauma of just getting absolutely destroyed if you're 1 foot away from cover when you had no fortification. Um, do you think the way you play as Caustic shifts over to other legends, and you use that, you use the smaller hitbox legend to your advantage, but you still kind of play like Caustic, or do you find that you meld into whatever legend you're playing as you play it?
So I'm gonna use Octane as an example because he's now my secondary main that I play apart from Caustic.
Mm-hmm.
So with Caustic, since he has fortified, I the reason why people say I have good movement on him, I guess, is because how you don't get slugged by bullets in Caustic, and I keep that in my head all the time. So when I'm getting shot and I'm not that far away from cover, I'm not gonna be afraid. I'm just gonna be like, okay, they can shoot me. I'll keep moving. I don't really care. So basically, I abuse his fortified because of the like not slowed by bullets thing. That's probably my favorite thing about fortified,
Yeah.
and that's like literally like how I keep getting shot and I just keep moving. Like it doesn't, I don't stop moving at all. But with Octane, I pretty much have the same playstyle, but like mixed, right? Like I still play around cover a lot, but that's just what you should do with every legend, honestly.
Mm-hmm.
Um, Instead of playing around my gas traps, I play around his jump pad. So if I need to get out of there, I can just hit the jump pad and go to another piece of cover really quickly.
Like I know it's not a
But
Caustic thing, but the change to the Octane jump pad, like how do you like that? Because I love it. I've been
oh
playing
my
a
god,
lot of Octane lately.
it's nuts because now it's not suicidal when you hit the jump pad. Like like I said, when I play around the jump pad, I'll say place the jump pad on this one side, the other kid pushes me from the other, crack him. But I'm also, he also hits me a lot. So what I'll do, I'll slide on the jump pad, know, a bit,
Yeah.
to another location, not them, but to another piece of cover, so I can get a bat off while that other guy is healing as well. So maybe his teammates might push me because I'm low, but they can't really laser me that hard off the jump pad if I slide on it because you go really fast while doing that.
Yeah. I
Yeah,
mean,
my bird is.
you know what? Actually, I have all of my PlayStation stuff in here. I might try to start this up while we keep talking, and if you want to move over to PlayStation, I can jump in a party with you and continue recording the audio. And then I don't know if I don't. Your mic works better in on PlayStation, right? Like,
Not really.
oh,
Like,
okay,
uh, it's the same for Discord. It's just it might have a little bit lower quality. It's just the reason why I have a lot of background noise and my mic has been like rapidly deteriorating in the last week. Like sometimes when I have it turned on, my headphone audio will get all distorted, and sometimes it'll be staticky. It's just weird. Like
okay.
it's just
Well,
really old. So
I
I have
feel
to
that. I'm. It's
deal with it.
not bothering me. I just wanted to make sure that people would be able to hear you, and I know the comments are gonna be like, "What's going on with Bones' mic, dude?" So I was just making sure. Um, but if it's gonna be the same no matter what, then it doesn't bother me. But yeah, again, still, I think it's funny because and you like pub stomping a lot. Octane is really just fun. When I was kind of, going through an existential crisis of who I was gonna main, Octane was somebody I thought about because um, he just has that speed. You can abuse the hell out of him. But I do want to say one thing that Reap just said in chat. He said Caustic will stay the same since the only thing Apex cares about is pick rate. What do you think
I
about
was gonna
how
read
Apex
that.
does that? Because I think it's terrible. Like it's so bad. The way they buff and nerf legends has nothing to do with how well the legend actually plays. It has to do with their pick rate, and that doesn't actually mean
Well,
anything.
yeah. Okay. So another uh like comment thing is by Xbones correct, and he says if teammates get slowed, then Caustic will be less picked, to be honest, which is true, but that's kind of
That's
needed
good,
right now.
right?
But anyways, about the pick, I don't know. It's like weird because say I really don't know, dude. Like I don't really know how to answer that about the pick rate thing. I just think it's kind of stupid how you know very top pick rate, lots of wins on this legend and this like last month and blah blah. Then they get nerfed.
Well, because
So
like they
I
just
don't know. It's
changed
just
Wraith's
that all I know
hitbox
is
again. What do you think about that? Like
because
I
she's toxic.
personally think like who cares, man? Wraith is Wraith. Like I would rather fight a Wraith than a Horizon. because a Wraith has to basically shoot me. Horizon just gets to kill you for free. And that was really annoying me when I was playing ranked, because there were a lot of times where Horizon will throw a dud ultimate and just miss the building that we're in with her ult, and it'll pull us through a wall. And I personally think that's really unfair and not fun to fight against.
Yeah, they need to fix that.
Because if Caustic gas went through walls, people would lose their minds. Like, consistently.
Oh my god. Oh my god. I remember, like, a stupid bug with Caustic. If you place a trap on a door, and someone kicked that door, it would disappear. And you wouldn't get the trap.
Oh, dude, yeah. The same thing would happen sometimes, too, with, like, I would throw a trap, and it would bounce off the door, and they won't have done anything, and then they'll open the door, and it will just make my trap disappear, and I'm like,
yeah.
Hello?
That was a bug. And that was probably the worst bug for Caustic, because it really, like, I legit couldn't use my traps on doors anymore. Because if I did, I would know that I'm going to lose that trap, and it's just going to be a waste.
It'll be a waste of trap, waste of movement, and then they'll just run in and kill you.
Yep. The Wraith hitbox, I think it's stupid. Like, I don't really understand why they did it. I mean, I never had trouble hitting Wraiths in the first place, but, like, they're either going to revert it or they're going to buff her in another way, and I don't know, it's just stupid. Like, Wraith has gotten so many nerfs because of her pick rate and her win rate, and, like, I mean, it makes sense. Have you not seen her abilities? Like, she can phase out, reposition, she repositioned the whole team, and they've nerfed those abilities multiple times when you need a legend like that in this game, right? You need a character like that for team play, but
yeah, I agree.
I don't know. The bugs really wasn't the problem, and now she gets lasered way too easily. They didn't change the model. She's just like, it's like 2 Wraiths in one now, but you can only see one of them, and you can just like shoot hit her still. So
no, I think the problem they've had in this game for the longest time was legends at the top didn't need to get brought down. The legends at the bottom needed to get brought up.
Mm-hmm.
And they do that in bad ways, though, a lot of times. Like, the Pathfinder changes have all been garbage, and it kind of it's the same way that they changed Caustic. Like, whoever is designing him doesn't understand how he's supposed to be played, or like what he needs to be designed like to be played in a way that people don't just like absolutely hate him. Do you notice in the community, other than people who like you, just in general, the hatred towards Caustic?
Oh, for sure.
Like, do you feel like you would grow more if you had gotten the kills on another legend, or were like really good at a different legend?
I don't know about that, because the whole reason like I'm here, I guess, because I'm around the same size as you, right? Like you have a little bit less subs than me on YouTube, and you have a little bit more followers on me than on Twitch. So Caustic thing, I'm definitely glad to be like a very top Caustic player on console. That's cool because I really like playing this character, but he's just like, everyone hates him so much because people will see my stats and be like, "You're the reason why I hate this game," but I respect the grind though. And it's just, I'm glad he's being played more and people are seeing the power of him, but Respawn has just made him way more powerful. Like, he was, in my opinion, he was the best in Season 4 because he was just the best. Like, his traps worked very well. You needed team coordination. He took skill, right? And that's when I played Caustic the most. That's when I got the most kills with him and everything.
Yeah.
Because that's when I enjoyed playing it. But after Season 4, he just been rapidly declining.
I feel that as well, and I've lost interest in playing him since around Season 5, I think, because that was when they made him really easy. Like, they started making him easier to play and not, like, just better, but they made him easier to play. And I think since, like, Season 6, or Season... Was it Season... I think it was Season 6 I had 9,000 kills on Caustic, and we're in Season 8 now, and I have, like, 9,800. Like, I have just barely played him compared to what I used to play him. Because it just doesn't feel as fun or special when I'm running around also killing so many Caustics, because that's actually something I haven't said yet, but there used to be a skill gap, or a skill level of, like, when you did come across another Caustic, you had to be the one to, like, root their team out to help your team fight them. And now, since every single team has a Caustic, it's not as interesting or fun to me to, like, fight another Caustic, or, kill another Caustic and be like, I beat you.
All over the place. Like it's not hard to come across the Caustic anymore.
Yeah. Like, you have to beat other
Yeah.
Caustic squads to the best position now. Whereas it used to be, you would have, like, one
The
other
other,
you had to kill in the whole game.
but like the whole, you're a really good team play Caustic. You've always more of a solo player and everything like that. That's why that's why my playstyle is so aggro and stuff with my traps, because I'm just a solo player. I'm used to being by myself, and I'm used to not having that much support around me, because I've only had around like one or two friends that have played with me throughout the whole game of Apex, and they recently stopped playing in the last 2 seasons, so I've just been turned into a solo player, right? And I don't
Yeah.
really know what it's like to play with a team.
Yeah.
But with the whole number 3 Caustic PS4, blah blah blah, stuff like that, like I don't want to only be known, like I've said this in my stream before, I want to only be known for my Caustic skills, if that makes sense.
Mm-hmm.
Because, like, like I
Mhm.
said, I've been playing a lot of Octane. I've uploaded a couple of Octane videos, me trying to improve my movement, me getting better movement, and getting better gameplays with him and stuff. Because recently I got a 5K on Octane because, like I said, I was practicing him. I'm still getting better at him. And, for example, there's this one dude in the comment section that I wanted to actually point out, and, how I want my little community to be like. He was basically saying, stop playing Octane, it looks awful on you. You're made for Caustic. That's why I want. And I was like, yeah, of course I'm made for Caustic. That's why I made him. But I just said that I play who I enjoy, and if you only watch because of Caustic and you can't handle me being good to other people, then you can leave, right?
Yeah.
Pretty much what I'm saying here is that another reason why I'm not playing Caustic is because I want to get good at other people that aren't him and
Yeah.
actually
Yeah.
be skilled at a different legend.
I mean, from the beginning, I played, like, I was gonna main Wraith, and then I noticed she was always taken, so I picked Bangalore. I think she was my, like, first main in Season 0. But I always kind of was, like, going in and out of playing Caustic. But then when I got tired of getting beamed because of no fortification at the time, I would play another legend. So I've always been, like, a jack of all trades. I've played a ton of different legends throughout my time playing this game. But I've gotten, and I'm sure you've gotten comments like this too, where they're like, I came for Caustic, but I stayed for, your gameplay in general. You can play literally anybody and go crazy with them. Like, if you're good at Caustic, you can be good at any legend, in my opinion.
Exactly.
Because he was so difficult to play, and, that's when you got really good, was when he was difficult. So when you play a legend that's really easy to play and smaller, you will still have your movement, and you will still have your aim. And it'll be built around, the legend you're playing. And just like you said with Octane, like, you're really high leveled, and then the things you're working on to get better at Octane are very nuanced things about Octane, like very small little things.
Literally, it's just the fact that I'm getting used to having faster movement speed, so I
Yeah.
don't bump into stuff.
Yeah.
I'm used to the strafe speed he has and stuff like that. So it's not really much of a difference. It's just like, okay, I move faster, so just pair your tracking with that.
Yeah, and that's definitely where it
Yeah,
comes in when you're 80, like, or when you're strafing left and right, and you are aiming down the sight, or even if you're not, that little bit of movement you have to do extra with your aiming because you're flying so fast left and right. It's kind of the same with Bloodhound's ultimate. That can throw a lot of people off, and I don't know if it still does, but it would, like, change the FOV and then change your speed as well at the same time, and it would make everything black and white. So it could throw a lot of people off. So that was, like, just a nuanced thing about Bloodhound that he had. But yeah, so if you, like, for ranked, what do you see of Octane's viability now with his new jump pad? Do you think he's still, like, or?
I think he's really good now because his jump pad kind of has the same benefits as Horizon, but Horizon you have more control over where you're going. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Octane's.
Yeah.
So I mean, I don't know. I would definitely compare Octane to Horizon because of the whole, like, they kind of do the same thing, but Octane's is an ultimate and you go faster on it. But with Horizons you have way more control over it compared to Octane.
I do want to talk about Horizon in a minute, but when it comes to Octane, I think someone like you would actually really work. Like, from when I played with you in ranked, you were very aggro, and I think someone like you in ranked with Octane, it could work well because Octane is all about, like, if you can get in and do a ton of damage. You know, one of my friends, he's been an Octane main since he released, and when I play ranked with him, he's the only person I've ever played ranked with at a higher level that plays Octane, and it was like, okay, and people I knew would be okay with him playing Octane because they knew he knew what to do with Octane. And I think your playstyle to be super aggro, get in, get out, you know, get in, do a ton of damage and get out, it could be viable because you have that movement and you have that aim, and you also like that really aggro style of play. And if you had legends around you, like even Pathfinder with Octane, you know, Pathy's not that great anymore because of all the dumb changes they've made to him, but it's still fun as hell to have those two together because you can just get in and get out.
Yeah.
I think we played a meta of Crypto Path Octane at one point, and that was really fun because while I was EMPing, my two friends would just be in the team getting EMP'd, like running in or grappling in, and they couldn't do anything. They were all really hurt from my EMP, and they're just in on top of them, and I would run in late and shoot at them, and it was just a lot of fun because of that aggro play style.
Like, okay, so pretty much, you know, I used to be a hard kill grinder in Caustic. I'd only play him, no one else. So, you know, my goal was to master him in all ways possible, and then kind of move on to someone else's, you know, some different person like Octane. So it kind of depends on who I'm playing with, on who I'm gonna play in ranked. Like, for example, when I'm just playing with friends that aren't like on my skill level, it's a big skill gap, I'll play Octane because I can take more lead and stuff like that. But when I'm playing Caustic, I want to have teammates that I can trust and that know how to play with me, or else I'm just not gonna have fun because why am I leading as a Caustic? I'm not supposed to be doing that.
Yeah. I've definitely noticed that too when I'm playing ranked with people who are a little bit lower skilled than me. When I'm playing Caustic, it can be frustrating at times because I am in the front and I'm just like, I shouldn't be in the front right now. Or like I'll ult somebody and we'll knock one and then I'll push through my gas and then I'll be fighting the second one and I might get knocked and I'm like, they're 1 HP, and I turn around and they're just like standing on the other side of my gas, and I'm just like, you don't have, for one, it's my gas, and even if it was an enemy gas, you don't have to be afraid of it. Like, you can move through it, and we have all advantage to fight here. So like, you know, you can't call every little thing and micromanage your teammates. So when you're a Caustic, you definitely want to be in that support scenario. Like, the best teams I ever played with when I played Caustic were people that just played around me and I didn't have to call out everything I was doing, and they would play off of what I was doing in that moment, and I knew that they would be doing a ton of damage.
Like, yeah, pretty much, because, well, I actually talked to this about my friend. I don't know if anyone was in here from the last stream, but at the end of the last stream I was basically being brutally honest with my friend and saying why this isn't working and why what we're doing is just not doing good at all. Because I was playing Caustic and I was leading, and my dude was playing Horizon, but he was more like following my callouts because, you know, he wants me to be team leader because I'm better than him in his eyes.
Yeah,
so
that makes sense.
We basically went on a long talk saying that no matter like how good both me and you are, it's just not going to work if I lead and play Caustic, because I'm supposed to be like around the middle of the team, or like the behind the team, you know, and like just own thing, like, you know, playing like a Caustic should be playing. And you know, basically when you're running Caustic and you know, playing like a Wraith and rank, that ain't gonna work too much, because a lot of people, when they see me
That's true.
playing Caustic, they're like, this dude, why doesn't he play rank? He would be Predator, like, he's so good, like his Caustic would be OP in rank. The reason why I don't play rank a lot is because I don't have a team, and when I don't have a team, you know, I have to be leading as Caustic because I'm either playing solo or with skill players that are my friends, right?
Yeah.
So, you know, it doesn't really work well because that's not what he's made for.
Yeah, and I did notice that, and I remember I was saying that to you when you were in my stream the last time, because like when I played ranked with you a little bit, there were some things I saw you doing that I was like, you know, he'll have to tone back on those small things a little bit when he's playing against, you know, like legit pro players in end circles and stuff, because they'll like exploit you making a certain move by yourself or doing something, and that it's such a small amount of things, though, you know what I mean? Like, what you would have to change in your playstyle in ranked is so minimal that it wouldn't really affect you at all. because that was one of the first things I learned with Apex. It's just very team oriented, and when you are Caustic, you have to play off of your team. And the worst teams I ever played with when I was Caustic would just like rush into a fight, and then we would die, and they're like, I did 500 damage, you only did 200. Well, you gotta get your damage up, and I'm just like, dude, you're not playing the way I'm supposed to be playing, and that's why I can't
Exactly.
do anything in these situations. I'm just getting beamed or destroyed, and you're not, because you're playing a small legend. I am not. I'm going to take
Yeah.
damage all of the time, and you can't play like that when I'm playing Caustic.
Yeah.
And
Like I feel like a lot of people expect too much out of me, as in like put me way higher up than I deserve, like pro status. A lot of people say I should legit be pro, and I'm like, are you sure about that? um, but anyways,
I mean, you could. It just
uh,
comes down to the team play, and you can't learn
exactly,
team
yeah.
play unless you play with a team,
Yeah, I was
and
going up
you'd
to that.
figure that out.
Yeah, so pretty much, like I said, I don't know what it's like playing with a good team because I've never really had. Like I've played with friends, but half the time when I'm playing with friends, I'm just joking around. I'm doing whatever. I really don't care. Like I'm when I'm playing with friends, I'm just trying to have fun, right?
Yeah,
But yeah, half the time when I'm legit trying, I'm playing by myself, and I don't know what it's like playing with people on my level or higher. You know what I mean? With a team. So when people are saying I could just solo up to Predator and stuff like that, and I'm just like, it ain't that easy because when I'm playing a defensive end that can also play aggro, but like in ranked, stuff I do in pubs ain't gonna work out. Like I
yeah,
have to have a completely different ranked, yeah, different from pubs, and I know what I have to do, but I make so many mistakes because I have no choice but to make them because I'm not gonna let some plat player lead me across the whole map. You know what I mean?
yeah. And that like
Yeah.
it sounds like we're gonna have to play some ranked this season, because I'm trying to get back into it, and I know a lot of people who are like used to be pred or are pred or pushing, and they're good, and they know how to play around caustics. And it would be really fun for me to play not as a caustic with a good caustic though. Uh,
Mhm.
but yeah, it's really just having that, like when you're pushing solo, you're having to do things solo. You're not really putting much faith in your teammates, but when you're on a team pushing high ranked, you're communicating everything, like who needs ammo, do you guys need meds, do you need
Yeah. Like
and you don't feel bad. Like if you gave me a bat or I gave you a bat, I'm not like, oh, it's fucking giving Bones a bat. Like I know, like your chances are you're gonna use it to your advantage, and I'm not wasting it giving it to you, if that makes sense. And knowing that like
yes.
in a fight you're not alone, and that we will also be doing damage while you're doing something as caustic. You can only 1v3 so many top tier teams, and chances are you really can't in general. That's not possible. They're too good. They're not going
Yeah,
to let you do that to them.
exactly, dude. Because when people see my pub gameplays of me literally deleting the whole lobby with me just chilling, talking to chat, while like nothing ever happened, people are like saying, just like I said, that I should be in pred because I'm this good. When in reality, there's it's like their mindset is like I'm going up against top 500 in pub lobbies, and I'm just chilling, trying to sweat it out and improve my aim and movement and stuff. Because when I'm playing pubs, I'm either just playing it because why not, or it's because I'm improving or trying to. But I don't, I can't really improve on my team play or anything like that, or how to play around a good team when I don't have one, right?
Yeah,
So when we
yeah,
started playing rank, I'll obviously make a lot of mistakes at first because I'm not used to it, but then it won't take me long to get used to, honestly. Because if I'm trying to do something and I legit want to like get good at it, then I'll get good at it. Like it might take a day, a couple hours, who knows. So, if I ended up playing with a really good team, I'm worried that they would end up, you know, basically I'd be letting them down. Like I'm not as good as they think, but that's just because I don't really know how to play around them. Well, it's like you said, it's not hard, and I know it's not hard.
well,
It's
it
just I
takes
gotta get used to
practice
it. You know
with
what I mean?
those people,
Well, thanks. Exactly.
like, and
Everything
and
takes
that's just
practice.
something everyone needs to understand when they're running with a new squad. Like when I would run with a new squad, I'm not expecting for me to go ham or for them to go crazy right out the gate, because we need to learn each other. And again, the
Exactly.
best
Yeah.
teams I played with were people who were like okay with that, and that we would discuss what happened afterwards. and be like, I could have, like, the best people will immediately say what they could have done better before they tell you what you could have done better, if that makes sense. Because people who just never do anything wrong ever, it's really frustrating to like try to figure out how to play with them, and it makes you feel like, oh man, you know, I'm letting everybody down.
Exactly.
But no,
That's why the
yeah,
whole
I'll have to get some
why the
people in,
whole
man, and we'll
classic
run some ranked for sure. And I think you'd enjoy it because I'm definitely not somebody, and most of the people I run with aren't people who just like blame everybody for everything.
yeah.
And I think it would be fun, and I definitely know our communities would love to see that because, you know, that's where I've been too. Like, I haven't really had all the people I used to ranked with quit because of how the game changed and this, that, or the other. And it's just like, you know, it's hard because you don't want to play with toxic people because it just crushes your mental. And if you're trying to stream, you know, it's not enjoyable to have some guy in your team just like raging at you the whole time.
Yeah, like that's why that's what bothers me. You know, I'm held at such a high standard from, you know, other people. I'm just like, what do you mean, dude? Like, I mean, you know, I'm gonna end up letting them down, you know, blah blah, like you said, right? But it takes patience, it takes practice, but not a lot of people understand that because they're not where you're at. You know what I mean? Like they're not like they don't, uh, you know, they think just because this person's really good, they can get good at it overnight. You know, when
Yeah.
you know it,
Well, I
years
think
to
another
get
thing with
extremely good.
Caustic too is if you're IGLing with Caustic, you need to have people on your team that will react off of what you're doing. And if you're like, I'll call out big things when I'm playing Caustic, like quote unquote IGLing. I have some guy on my team normally who's good at like mid fight calling, like we need to fight this guy, go over here and fight this. But I'll make big calls to help my team that don't really know how to play around the Caustic as well. I'll make calls like we should maneuver through here to get here. Once we get there, it's up to them to call little things out. But like some people will be like, "Oh, let's just run up through here," and I'm like, "If I go through there, that's no man's land. I'm gonna get destroyed because I'm gigantic." Like that, you don't want to maneuver that way when you're playing as Caustic, and they won't know that as much because they don't play Caustic or they don't really know how to rotate with one. So it's really important to have that, like, you know, that kind of like gelling of the team. And I truly think like you would have it pretty easily. Like it really just comes down to communication. Because I know if somebody pushes you, like 99% of the time, you're going to just absolutely beam the shit out of them, and you definitely have that. You definitely have that. But I do want to. I know we've been talking for a little while. I do want to get some people chat. If you guys have any questions for Bones or me about Caustic, or just any questions at all that you want to ask him, he'll answer them because I want to get you guys involved in this a little bit since I was just talking with Bones this whole time. But I think it's funny because I know the comments I get. I know you probably get a ton of them too, like on your YouTube videos, where people they talk trash. It's so funny to me.
Yeah, we have a lot of the same fan base, dude. It's kind of funny. Like, I'll watch some of your videos, I'll look at your comments, and then I go to look at my videos comments, and I have some of the same people in there. And you know, then I get a couple of trash talkers, which I just laugh at, dude. That's the best. Like I think that's the best part about video uploading. You just get a bunch of people who think they know what they're talking about and coming at you. And
They're
I'll
like
just send this to
gold
my friends. And I'll be
Caustic
like, hey,
players
can you laugh? Yeah, dude. And I'm just
with
like, I'm
10
just
kills
looking
as
at
their
it. And
highest kills.
yeah, and I'm just laughing at it like as if you know, like they feel like they're hurting me, dude. And I'm just sitting there making fun of them.
Yeah, no, that's definitely funny. Oh, we actually have a really good question from Saden. Congratulations on your heirloom and happy birthday, Saden. I saw that on Twitter. But she asked, describe your Caustic playstyle and what makes your playstyle yours. Like, what do you think sets you apart from other Caustics? Bones.
Okay, so okay. There's actually a caustic voice line that literally describes my playstyle.
Which one?
Uh, it's watch for my traps and I'll be watching you,
Okay.
or watch for my traps, I'll be watching you. So, you know, that's kind of like the short words of my playstyle. But you know, I I pretty much do everything when it comes to like I play defense, aggro. You know, it just depends on the moment when I need it, right?
Yeah.
And I'd say what sets different from caustics is that you know, like I said, I can play alongside a very fast team. Like they don't have to slow down for me. I can play with them.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and say, for example, how you know when you master a legend, you know how their abilities work exactly. Like I'll just flick it up in the air and throw my trap, and I'll know exactly where it's gonna land without even thinking twice. And
Yeah.
that's just what pretty much Legends abilities will work. You'll figure them out, and you won't really have to think while using them. You just do it. Um, I don't know. I just say I'm a very, very good aggro caustic.
I agree with that. That's definitely, I've said it already multiple times in this podcast, but I've said it multiple times just in general. Like, you have very good aggro. I've said it before. I've been saying it since my guide. It's the ebb and flow, knowing when to be aggressive and when to be defensive. Something I've noticed in the caustics that aren't as comfortable playing him, they're way more likely to just be sitting somewhere hiding and
Yeah,
not,
they're scared.
Yes, that is. They're scared to do anything. They're scared to maneuver. They're
Yeah,
scared to do anything.
like a lot of new and low skill caustic players, what they'll stick close to their traps at all times, which is good, but they don't do anything about it. Like they'll sit in a building, if their traps activate, they'll make sure to sit in the smoke. They won't try and peek and shoot or anything. Like it's kind of weird, because when I'm saying stay close to your traps at all times, that means if you're gonna move, your trap's gonna move with you. Pick it up, bring it with you. Like a lot of new caustic players will just sit in one place. They'll be scared to peek because they have a big hitbox. In reality, fortified and both your abilities make up for that big hitbox.
Yeah, that is true.
It does. Like that's just the way I've thought about it the entire time. Like I've never complained about caustic having a big hitbox. And they gave him the good fortified because I was like, all his abilities and his fortified makes up for the big hitbox. I don't really get it. Like there's nothing wrong with his hitbox. It's a big size, yeah, but all his abilities make up for that.
Yeah, and that's even something I said in my guide was you just have to be cognizant that you have a big hitbox. It's not necessarily a bad thing.
Know
You
that
just
you
have to
have one. That's
remember it.
it.
Because like you
Because
said,
you
like
can't
not
be
getting
certain.
slowed, dude, when you get shot. When I play other legends, that's definitely something that like I get reminded of it in the worst situations that you get slowed when you get shot, because I'm trying to slide
Yeah.
and then I just kind of stand still for a second.
Yeah.
Yeah, because
It's very true.
go ahead.
It's very true. Forgot. Oh yeah, like the big hitbox and caustic thing. Like you gotta, when you come from Wraith, when you play caustic, like you're not gonna be able to sit behind like a 2-inch pole, dude. You're not. That's not gonna block any bullets. Like, you need to be around rocks and stuff like that. You need to know what will get you and
Yeah,
stuff. You need to know what will protect you and what really won't do anything at all.
and I think that's really important because of the size, but it's just like you said, man. You can't be afraid of it, and you do have that. The fortification is pretty nice. Like for a long time when I would 1v1 people in the firing range, I didn't play caustic because I was like, oh, he's big. But then I thought about it recently, and I was like, you can kind of abuse that in a 1v1 because you have to shoot them less. And when you're just in a straight
Yes.
up 1v1, you kind of have an advantage with that.
You should answer Saden's question. How he's basically the same question for you.
I was just making sure you were
My
done.
yeah,
My playstyle with Caustic was bred from him having no fortification and from him having really weak traps. And like the main thing I had to do was hit my shots and be as elusive as possible. So like early game, when I got better at the game, my aim became better because I had to just straight up win fights against people. I couldn't rely on queuing out. I couldn't rely on, you know, at the time like a Bangalore smoke or Pathy grappling out or Wraith queuing out. So my playstyle is I'm a little bit more on the defensive side, and I'm more on the like let's get to a better position first before we take a fight, and I will think
Noticed that watching you,
over
yeah.
a fight a bit more, like before we take it, and I will think like what could potentially happen. And I'm not the best at it, but that's what I try to do because I don't want to. If we do take this fight and we don't win in like 5 to 10 seconds, literally like they are all dead, and sometimes in ranked you have that one squirrely legend that's left just running all around causing you trouble. Your team can tunnel easily and go like I'm gonna go fight this person. So my playstyle is a lot more defensive. I'm a little bit more defensive than Bones, and I think some of that has to do with like being in PC lobbies early days. I know in console the beams would be real because of controller, but just the skill level of people on PC overall was like I would just get beamed all the time because beaming a Caustic with good movement was way easier than beaming a Wraith with good movement when you're going against PC players. Whereas I feel like on console is kind of the same thing because of the aim assist. You're gonna beam somebody regardless. So I'm a bit more defensive, but like I do know when to be aggro. But I definitely rely more on my team being there with me and helping me, I think, than Bones. And I think
Yeah.
that some of that comes from I played most of Caustic with a team, and I never really kill grinded as much than you in pubs because I just kind of lost interest in that quickly when I was getting put against like 3 sweat stacks every single game, starting in like season 3, season 4. Uh, but I definitely rely on my team a lot as Caustic, and I'm a little bit more
Yeah.
defensive, but I'm very aggressive when it needs to be done. Like it's like a jab. I'll bum rush into something when I'm like, this is a fight we can win, and we got to win it quickly. I don't like fights that last a long time. I want it to be over quick, and I want us to win or lose quickly.
Exactly, because that's why I was saying we're better than each other in our own ways. Like you are better with playing with the team and knowing when to do this and when to do that. I'm just better by myself. So I mean,
Yeah,
I have more
yeah.
survivability when it comes to 1v3 than you would say, I guess.
I could, yeah, and I can see
Well,
that, and it comes down
really,
to
I
like
mean,
the team play. Um, and I can see that, and that's why when people always say like Bones is the best, and I will argue in a lot of ways you are better than me at Caustic. Like I'm not egotistical enough to think truly that I'm the best. And most of those comments I get are the videos I've titled like I'm the best Caustic. It's just a kill video. Um, but that's actually something I was going to ask you. I'm going to answer this question first, but I do want to remember that question about kills and what you think about like what that means of a player and their skill level. But how is Caustic in season 8? I haven't played since season 6. I'll let you answer that first, Bones, and then I'll answer my opinion after you're done.
leave the character out of the game, please. That's a joke, but he's very OP. He needs to get a nerf now.
Yeah, he's really strong. If like you want to play Caustic, season 8 is it's never been a better time to play him. Because of how easy it
Yeah.
is to move with your team and how easy it is to fight people, but you're going to fight a Caustic basically on every team when you're in high ranked games.
Yeah, like the whole kills thing you were talking about and kill grinding, I mean if I see someone with 100k kills, I'm gonna be like, Jesus Christ, you play this game, dude. Like I mean I know
Yeah.
I have a lot. Yeah. The most I'll play like 2 hours a day. Even then I don't even do that much. But like kills can be fed.
Mm-hmm. That is
Rank
true.
cannot. I mean you know
I know what you
rank
mean.
when it comes to pred and stuff, a lot more skill than it would just teammates cracking people and then you finishing them off, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
But like then again, there are boosting services that you can pay for and get you up to a higher rank, but that's just people are getting banned for that,
Mm-hmm.
luckily. So,
And I mean, I think as far as kills go, right?
Mhm.
When I had 5 or 6 thousand kills on Caustic, I had been playing him in pred lobbies at this point, so I had played him at the highest level in the game without going to like pro scrims and stuff.
Mhm.
I would get that comment a lot, like there's people with 20,000 kills. One thing with Caustic though, early on, when Caustic like the top people in the world had like 10k kills with him, Wraith and all
I
the
would
other
say that was
legends had like 30,000.
yes. I would
So
say like having high kills early on was impressive, but now it's just kind of like I don't really care.
yeah, and I mean, I remember there was one Caustic. I do not remember his name. I'm not trying to throw shade at the guy, but he had like 18,000 kills, and this is when I had like 5, 6, or 7,000. I can't remember, but I had the 4K 20 bomb. And I get this argument a lot in chat, normally forcing saying like, "Well, that doesn't really matter." But like, in my opinion, if you have 10,000 kills on a legend, and I have 1,000, but I have a 4K 20 bomb, and you have like a 3K and you don't have a 20 bomb, chances are I have a little bit more of an understanding on not only how to play
Yeah,
the game, but how to play that legend and get into getting all
yeah,
the kills.
exactly. Yeah, because I mean,
Because kill grinding, you
I
can
know
play
too.
all day and get 5 kills a game and have more kills than
Exactly.
me.
Yeah. Yeah.
But you and I don't
So
go
like,
for that. We go for high kills.
yeah, pretty much. Like that's why I have a low. Like I kind of have a low win rate on my KD. That's just because I don't care about winning whatsoever in pubs. I mean, in ranked, yes, that makes sense. But I mean, for pubs, just kind of like okay, get kills, cooler banner, stuff like that. But I have heard of and seen two Caustic players that are not like really popular, but they have both have more kills than me, right? So when I see them and look at their gameplay compared to mine, I mean, I like how you were talking about the best caustic or whatever, like saying that you say that whatever because you know the ego and stuff. But I like how you titled it "Talking the best caustic in the world"
Yeah,
when I was just about how people put me at a high standard. But anyways, there's two caustics that I know of that have
that's
higher
just
dosage.
clickbait, brother.
For real. For real, but when I looked at those two caustics in their gameplay, they're just like I don't want to say they're bad, but they're not like the best I've seen, if you know what I mean.
I mean, I say that
Like
about
they.
you. It's not to
Mhm.
stroke your ego, and I don't say it about me to stroke my own ego. Some of it is like clickbaity, but I would argue earlier on, like I was the best, like with ranked because of my
Oh, you
movement.
were better than me early on in the game, for sure,
Yeah, and
definitely.
but
Like,
like watching you now, until I see a caustic who's making moves like better than you, I will consider you the best caustic. Like you are the best caustic. You know, not talking about ranked or this or that. And again, if you played ranked a lot with the consistent people, you'd be a powerhouse. You would the amount of things you'd have to change is minimal, and you'd be able to do it. But like until I see people, you know, doing what you do and having the finesse that you do with caustic, and you make it look easy. That's the thing about if you're good with a legend, you make hard tech look easy, and that's what you do. So when until I see somebody else who and I because I dude I don't know how many kills you have. I don't really care. I don't care like you're number three. It doesn't matter to me because when I watch you play, the moves you make are better than the people who have more kills than you from what I've seen. Until I see
exactly.
differently,
That's
I'm
what
gonna consider you as the best.
because when I see like like when people I let people decide if I'm legit this good. I want you guys to decide. I don't want to be like stroking my ego, being like, "Oh my god, I'm the best caustic in the game. No one can compare to me." When in reality, that can just be extremely untrue. Like, I might be good at this, but not good at the other thing, right? So,
Yeah, and I mean that's
again,
it's just good to have a balance like that really with anything in life. You know, you can always learn more. And if you just think you've plateaued, then you're not going to move forward anymore. Um but no, I think your attitude with it, you never come across as conceited. And like even if I make a joke, like if I 1v3 wipe a squad and I yell out like I'm the best caustic or something like that, it's not really an ego thing. It's more of just like hype in the moment, you know?
yeah,
Uh
I mean, I just kind of do that stuff to troll, to be honest. Just like
yeah.
kill a whole squad. Simply, I'm better. They kill you, they're better. Just like
I mean,
kind of
if
like
if
that.
I get comments all the time, man, that are saying like they think you're the best caustic, you know, or they'll say like they think I'm the best caustic,
That's what I
and
was
it's
gonna
like I'm
say.
not gonna argue with them. You know what
That's
I'm
what I was
saying?
gonna say. I was gonna be like, I mean, according to a lot of people, I'm extremely good, but that's just to them. And like, it's not only just random people on the internet; it's my friends, everything. Like they're like, it definitely helps. Like the support is amazing because they're like, bro, you can do this if you keep on trying. You can get to this level. You can do all that,
No,
and
and
it
that's true.
definitely helps how so many people are saying I'm at this level when I don't really think it myself. But I'm not like saying I'm not because I still have stuff to improve on, of course, and that's what I'm trying to do improve on now, which is team play. And maybe we can get to that when we start playing right together.
Yeah, man, and I have no like not even to put you on a pedestal or like and I'll be disappointed. Like I truly think that once you learn those small things that you cannot learn until you do it, like with a group of
Yeah.
people, you do it pretty quickly. But I did get a question. Can you still cocoon with caustic? Yes, you can. It's way more
Bad.
situational, and you have to know like if it's gonna be worth it. Like if you know they're not gonna peek you until the thing is done inflating, or that like if it's on a hill and it's not going to, or there's a hill in front of you and they won't be able to see the bottom of the trap easily. But now when they just like run around the corner and if it's still inflating, they'll just beam you and there's nothing you can do, so it's not that great. It's very situational because you have to bounce it off a wall, and then some walls like the trap will bounce in a bad way and your
Yeah.
half your body will be sticking out of it. On the side they would be able to see you, so you definitely like if you're gonna cocoon, you want to do it in a position where you can get comfortable before you're going to be getting
Yeah.
accosted by anybody.
Exactly. Like, I don't use cocooning anymore. I gave up on that a long time ago, but I know how it works. Like, just like you said, bounce it off the wall, it lands on. If you throw it at your feet, literally your entire body will be showing because it's like floats and like your head is
Yeah,
and everything.
yeah,
You know, you have to bounce it off of something to get it under you completely like the original way, but even then I really wouldn't recommend doing it
yeah. You don't want to get
because
used to it. The only time I used it, like I think I have a clip of me using it that will go in my plat video, pushing through plat, and we're like in a building and I already have gas traps going off, so I know the chances of them just running in and beaming me is low, and I can get myself situated in it and like back up and do it the right way so that I'm not just beamed immediately. But chances are it just gets me killed most of the time. Like it's really not. It's a last resort. I will say that. Like it should be your last resort. Like if you're going
even
to lose
then,
anyway, that's your last resort.
I still wouldn't do it because it's still an exploit. Like they haven't 100% completely patched it out because there's
It's
no
going to
way they
get
can really
patched.
do that.
It's
But
probably going to get patched at some point
oh,
because
and
they saw it in the ALGS.
yeah, that's why I was gonna bring that up. I was gonna be like, they saw in the ALGS that you're just pretty much cheating, and like pretty much if something's not allowed ALGS, dude, you ain't gonna be I guess it's counts as an
They'd
exploit,
probably
which it
change
always
it to
has
a
been.
point where, like, if it inflates around somebody, it will move until it's no longer around somebody, or something like that.
Yeah,
You know what I
yeah,
mean?
like how they float? They used to float and like fly
Yeah,
around and stuff.
yeah.
Yeah, it'd be kind of like that, but it would it would either no, it would push you out of it. Like how
Well, did you ever
there's like
punt it at
barriers.
people?
You don't hit.
Like, were you
What?
ever able to control it to know that it was going to push it away from you, so that you could push it in a direction you wanted to push it in to, like, basically make a homing beacon trap
I've
at people?
experienced with it and I have done it. I've never done it seriously in a fight, but
I
I've
think I did it
definitely
like twice
experienced it,
on
and I
purpose. Where like that was my goal. Like
yeah,
I was
yeah,
like,
I've
I'm
done
gonna
it a couple
send this
times on
at them,
purpose.
and it's gonna confuse them, and then I'm gonna kill them. It only happened like twice in all of my time playing. Most of the time it happened, it was an accident. There was like 2 times where I realized the collision would send it somewhere, and I used it to my advantage. But yeah, cocooning is not something I would say anymore as a thing to do. Like as I said, last resort for me. Bones said not to do it at all. For me, it's like if I literally have 1 HP and I know if I take any fight with these people, they're gonna hit me. I might do it to try to get a bat off. But like, because I did it, I think that the night you raided me, I think I was cocooning in front of this lifeline when I was 1v3ing these people, and it worked out. Like it worked to my advantage. But like, it's not promised anymore like it kind of used to be. I had so many clips from before where I would throw it and they would be literally in front of me beaming me with an entire mag, and they would spit their entire mag into the invisible wall that would be the trap, and then I would walk out and kill them because of it. And like that doesn't really happen anymore.
Yeah.
No, you don't have to apologize for questions. What's the new meta for Caustic? I'll let Bones because you haven't really played ranked a lot recently other than solo. But what would you think, like if you had to choose, you had 2 teammates that were really good, who would you want to roll with Caustic right now in the meta? Because I think I have an answer for that. But you go ahead first.
I mean, like I don't like I know how people play with Caustic, of course, but for me, what I would like, I don't know any names because if I'm being honest, I don't watch a lot of pro play when it comes to Apex. I watch clips and stuff, but I
Like
don't
what
legit like
legends would you want with you? Not like the actual
whatever
player.
you want with you. I would go probably Gibby Horizon or let's say maybe I don't know Gibby Wraith, but Wraith is really hard now because of her hitbox. I mean that's basically meta in my opinion. Like
I
Gibby's
I
just so
think Gibby is like always the second for me. Like I would
yes.
always want a Gibby and Caustic right now, and then the third could be Wraith, Horizon, like you said, or Bloodhound for that intel of knowing where people are and just
Yeah,
scanning through gas all the time.
Honda is definitely very good too, but you got to be a lot more careful when it comes to your decision making. There's no ability, but I'd say number one would be Gibby and Horizon.
Someone asked, "Do you think Rampart is viable for platinum?" Basically, anyone's viable for platinum once it like evens out and all the sweaty diamond and pred, like former diamond and pred players get out of it and are in their rank, and you're playing against legitimate plats. Anyone's viable, but like high up, no, Rampart's not viable right now.
Yeah, she really isn't,
Like
dude.
just because one good person plays Rampart, that does not mean she's viable. It means they're good with Rampart. But how you have to play around her right now is just it doesn't really fit in the way the meta of the game works for like a lot of people.
Well, we got any more questions from chat? I
Uh,
think I've pretty much unless we get some new questions that I really haven't thought of.
yeah, I'm trying to see. Well, no, because that's I was going to talk to you about. I wanted to ask you specifically about Horizon, which is very specific. But yeah, we have Forcing in here always, giving the love to Rampart, and I'm not gonna fault him for it. But like, no, Rampart's a very weak legend right now. It doesn't really. Again, because you can point out one good player, and I would even say this about me back in the day, just because I was good at Caustic and I was playing him in top pred, it doesn't mean that in most situations I could not pinpoint, like in a pred lobby at the end, losing and getting like second or third place. I literally would think like, we could have gotten to this point and then won if I wasn't Caustic right now. So just because there's one good person at a legend, it does not make that legend good. It makes that person good with that legend.
Exactly, dude. Like, I don't see how people don't understand that.
But yeah, what do you think about Horizon? Like, what do you think they should do to fix Horizon? Because I think she's just dumb broken.
She is, like, she's not broken, but she's overpowered. Like, there's a difference, obviously. Just like Caustic, he's overpowered.
Well, see, I think
so
she's broken
for
because, like, if I'm in a building and she throws a shitty ult, I'll still lose because it'll
Oh,
pull me
yeah.
to a wall and I get like magnetized to a wall.
Oh my god, dude. Like, why don't they fix that? Like, is, I mean, it shouldn't be that hard to fix it, right? Because
I mean,
I think Caustic guys used to have the same didn't it?
yeah, and I mean, for me, like, okay, Octane, Pathfinder, zip lines in general. You play a lot of Octane. Do you think it's fair that Horizon can Q and like accurately shoot you on her Q, going straight up, but like Octane can't shoot accurately on his jump pad, and Pathfinder can't shoot accurately while zipline or like while grappling or zipping, and no one can. I think zip lines. I've been saying this for a long time. I think you should be able to shoot accurately off a zip line, because you have really no defense when you take a zip line, and if you can hit those shots, you have good aim. You deserve to hit those shots.
Yeah, like Octane's jump pad is weird because even if you control your recoil, it's not gonna hit your shots because you need to track and control recoil, like extremely strong recoil when you're in the air in his jump pad. So, if I'm being honest, I don't really know how to control
Thanks
that.
for that
Like,
follow, man.
sometimes I'll just spray with an while tracking someone just to get a couple of shots. But when I'm doing that, I'll never push them because I'll obviously have to reload. I'll just get a little bit of damage because why not? But
would you like it if you were able to like accurately shoot while flying through the air, or you wouldn't want that?
I would definitely like it, but I don't know if it would be a stupid decision or not. Because with stuff like that, like such strong mobility, it's like so good, right? I would honestly don't give accuracy to stuff like that.
Yeah.
Like zipline, I'll allow that, but
so what you're
the
saying
jump pad,
is
you're zooming.
remove it from Horizon. Because all I'm saying is make it like consistent. If Octane, Pathfinder, and ziplines aren't accurate, why is Horizon accurate when she's on her Q?
Because
like
she's
going
moving
up, I mean.
fast. Going up, like
because I get it when you're at the tippy top. If you had it at the top, that's fine because you're just sitting still.
When you're at the top, sure, go ahead. But like the fact that when she's floating up and moving really fast, honestly, she can just be like nothing. And it's kind of hard to do that in return because not only that, but she has very fast strafe speed. So it's really hard to track her while she's
going straight up fast and left and right, whereas you're basically standing still. So you're a much easier target to hit. And then not only that, if she does jump off of it, she can get up really high and then heal herself, which is dumb. And then she can jump off and silently land behind you, and you won't know it. So I think it should make a really loud noise when she lands, personally. Like, I just think she needs to get brought down a bit. I don't want Horizon destroyed. I just want her brought down a tad.
Maybe not like a really loud sound, but you know how like every character has their own like footstep sounds and stuff.
Yeah.
It's kind of easy to know who's who. It's kind of like that, but she has like a slightly louder, but like it makes like her sound effect. Like you know how you have a like when you hit the ground with Horizon, it's like that, but for everyone else.
I don't. Yeah, and what I meant was like I want to hear it once. Just I know I can have that intel in my head. Like she just landed somewhere, and I need to look around and not just get caught slipping while I'm shooting somebody. I get beamed in the back. You know what I mean? Because that's just not fun. It's just frustrating. It does seem like an unfair advantage compared to other legends, and that's what I'm saying. Like I don't think she should be able to shoot accurately going up. It should be counted as like she's falling, But at the top, if you want to take a fight while you're at the top, they actually have already said they're gonna remove how much she can strafe when she's in it, and I think that'd be fair because it would be like Octane's jump pad. If you want to queue with the Horizon, you need to do it at a good time and not, you know, just do it willy nilly and get free damage out of it, and people have a hard time shooting back at you because it's so high too. It goes so high. She'd basically replace Pathfinder for a
She
team
did,
getting
like,
somewhere. Like,
that's why I was saying, like, with the zip line with Pathfinder, make that accurate. I'm totally down for that. That makes sense because it's really easy to hit a Pathfinder off a zip line. Like, it's probably one of the easiest things in the world. But with Octane jump pad, they should keep it how it is when it comes to accuracy. Because my man's zooming, and if you master that in the air, like obviously it takes skill, but just if he's, I really think it'd be extremely strong, and I don't think Octane needs that. But with Horizon, you know, they need to fix her thing about like her, you know, flying up really fast race speed and really good accuracy at the same time. But you know, sure, give it to Pathfinder. Pathfinder, I think he deserves it.
I just think it should just be consistent across the board. Because if you're gonna have if you're gonna make it like that for one legend, I just think all of them should have it, or all of them shouldn't have it. That's just my opinion on it. Because the way this game works, Octane hitting a jump pad, I still think that if you are hitting, like, if you beam somebody while flying through the air like that, in my opinion, that's skill. That's like skill leveled. You know, if you don't have good skill, you won't be able to take advantage of that. And if I got beamed by somebody flying through the air like that, I wouldn't really be that upset because it's like, you know, they had to use a lot of skill to hit me with that. And you would also look for it because you hear a jump pad when you like. Octane's jump pad is loud when other people take it. You know people are taking a jump
Scared
pad.
of his jump pad.
Yeah.
Like, you know, if he's on top of the, or he's like near the jump pad, or you hear a jump pad place, and then he gets on, you're gonna be like, oh, I gotta get out of here. This man's about to laser me. If he's good at the game, of course. But you know, I obviously won't know how that's gonna work unless they actually do it in the game. But the only reason why I'm okay with Pathfinder having his on the zip line, and only his too, because you know he's got like a straight zip line. You don't move when you're on it. You just go in a straight line. The reason why is because he's probably the easiest legend to hit when it comes with his his mobility ultimate.
Yeah.
That's just
No,
I
yeah.
would say get.
I kill Pathfinders all the time when he's grappling. I'll just beam him because you can't do that with Wraith, obviously, because she's invisible. And I mean, Octane jump pad, it used to be like that. Now it's not as much because of how fast they're going in a straight line forward if they slide into it. And if you still go straight up, if you just run onto the jump pad, I can beam you out of the sky pretty easily.
Yeah, that's really easy.
But that's
It's
on
just
you. You made that mistake.
Yeah, because say just you know walking on it, you going up pretty far. That's just for taking high ground, right? When no one's like really looking at you. But when you're being like surrounded and shot at and stuff, that's when you would use the slide thing, depending on your surroundings and stuff, of course. But you know, because when you just walk on it, it's like you're so easy to hit, it's insane. But when you actually slide on it, you just move extremely fast, and you know, you can still get laser, of course, if you're getting shot at by a good player. But like, you know, it actually takes skill to hit an Octane off of a decent Octane off of a jump pad now, unless they're just like I said, walking on.
Yeah, I mean, I definitely can see that. I think it's really, I like the change to him so much though, man. Like that, and because I remember I talked to a pro once on their stream, and they were like, well, Octane will never be good because of his kit, and I don't agree with that. I think any legend could become broken if they change certain things about them. Like Bangalore, if she had an 80% movement speed when she got shot at, broken instantaneously. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm not saying that's good, but that would break her. And it's just by changing what already exists in her kit. Any legend could become broken if they just change values of whatever happens. And it's
like
that simple.
if Bang Smoke did like 50 damage per thing, she shoots like 3 out at once, I think.
Yeah.
To make like 3 smoke clouds. Yeah. So if they do that, that'd be 150 damage in 1 smoke, dude. That'd be disgusting.
So like,
Ooh.
you know, that, and we're talking extremes here, but I'm just making an example through the extremity is like, you know, any legend can become really good. It just depends on the devs, and we've seen that with Caustic. He went from the worst to like one of the best, most meta legends by them just changing what he already has. Jibby as well. They actually, I remember his gun shield wasn't it like 75 HP for a while, and they brought it back down to what it is again.
Yeah, I think that was around season 3, season 4.
Because I'm like 1v1ing a Jibby as Caustic, you lose basically every time. Because even if I hit every shot, I have to do 75 more damage to him.
Half of your mag goes into his arm shield,
Yeah.
dude.
But yeah, no, that was like definitely they could just change things, and it would become better. I do think they need to move away from all of the abilities the legends have, deciding fights. I miss when gunfights were like the way to win a fight, and the abilities were kind of just like it would help you, it would enable you to get the knocks that you needed. But now it's like they get your knocks themselves, and I don't
Yeah,
like that as much.
just like they said, they're gonna change the end circle. How like you can't or it's right. I don't know, dude. Like it's just this game started out mainly raw gun skill. There'd be a couple legends where their abilities are really good, but the others are just kind of like whatever, you know.
Yeah.
You know, you shoot, win. You don't like throw gas, throw bomb strike. You win. You know, stuff like that. Like it's obviously really good to have abilities in this game because that's the best part about it. Honestly, that's what makes this game because every character has their own abilities and their own kit.
Mm-hmm.
But it's
And
just
personality.
so many abilities are now, yeah. So many abilities are way too strong now. So you know.
I agree. Oh, Fuse. I'll ask this last because I do want to wrap it up. I don't want to take too much of your time. Fuse, do you think he's? I get one thing I get a lot is people think he's like really a balanced legend coming out, and I actually agree with that. I think I'm okay with a legend being kind of OP when it first launches because it's a new legend, but then they should tone it down pretty quickly. But Horizon came out god tier the whole way through. Fuse is like, I've been killed by a good Fuse a couple times where they use a good ultimate or a good Q against me, but it takes that finesse I think that Caustic used to have. If you shoot a bad Q, it's a dud. It doesn't do anything. But if you shoot a good one, it can be devastating. Same with his ultimate. What do you think about Fuse?
Fuse, I've played him. He's not my playstyle. I really don't like how his abilities work, but he's definitely good. He's not underpowered. He's not overpowered. Nothing like that. He's just kind of in the middle. He's literally just annoying. That's it. He's annoying. His ultimate, actually, the most annoying thing in the world if he hits a good one. Same thing with his Q.
Yep.
I mean, that's all. He's balanced and he's very annoying if you know how to play him correctly.
And I'm okay with that because it's like they have to play it correctly. If I get outplayed by a Fuse, I can sit back and go, that player outplayed me. They didn't just only ability me to death. Because he still has to do something after he throws his ability. But yeah.
Because I mean, ultimate is extremely strong in my opinion, but it's kind of like hard to hit a good one if that makes sense.
Yeah.
Jump over it. It's really easy to like avoid his ultimate, honestly.
Yeah, and I'm okay with
big.
that. But yeah, man, Bones. I appreciate you coming and talking with me, man. I'll upload this. I'll give you all the credit you need. I do appreciate you sitting down and talking with me. It's always enjoyable speaking with you. I'm definitely looking forward to playing some ranked with you in the future. Once I get a third for us. Are you plat right now?
I'm plat 1. I'm like
okay
100 RP away.
All right, then we're close, and we'll definitely be able to link up and get some games. And in the future, man, definitely on another podcast, it'd be good to get you in here again if you're down to talk because it was really fun and enjoyable. And I'm definitely gonna get it a little bit. It'll be a little bit more presentable in the future and not as much on a whim. But yeah, man, let everybody know where you're gonna be. Your social medias. Where's it the easiest for them to contact or get in touch with you and comment on your stuff.
It's mainly just my my YouTube and Twitch. My Twitch is my console name, Captain underscore Xbones. The C is capital, all Captain Xbones, or not all Captain, all capital Xbones, and the YouTube is just Xbones. So.
All right. And when this is on YouTube, I'll link it. I'll link everything in the description for you. I'm pretty sure most of the people watching this live, if they're not from you, they've already followed you, and they watch both of us. So, yeah, dude, I really appreciate you coming through and chatting it up, man. And once I get this all uploaded, I'll let you know, homie.
It was definitely really fun talking to you. It's cool how the chat had some questions. The questions were really good.
Mm-hmm.
I pretty much touched up on everything I wanted to talk about on Caustic, so I'm happy about that. But yeah, it was actually really fun. I wasn't bored through the entire thing, and I have a pretty bad attention span, so I mean...
I'm glad, man. I'm glad it was a good atmosphere that you weren't bored with. And I hope the chat enjoyed it as well.
Yeah, well, I guess I'll be seeing you around, dude.
Yeah, man. You gonna be playing any today?
Probably might stream. I don't know,
All
because I've
right.
been just kind of sitting here chilling. So
I
it all
feel you.
depends.
I'm probably gonna be playing right after this, so if you're down, hit me up, DM me if you're not full. But yeah, guys, let's
Right,
drop some
sure.
Causties in the chat for Bones. If you guys have Bones badges as well, drop them, dude. But yeah, man. All right, I'm gonna take a
You
little bit
do.
of a break and get some food. Just DM me, hit me up whenever if you want to play, and I'll see you, man.
You did, and see you all to chat. And thanks for stopping by in the stream as always and giving me and back support. And yeah, I'm
Yes,
head out.
sir. All right, brother. You take it easy.